Vascillating Depths. Romhack Races Week 142, level by FYRE150. How's the stock trick of Kaizo? Straight to the moon. Welcome, this is Dinosaur Land. In this strange land, we find that Pat is reading this message again. Looks like Romhacking is at it again. But yeah, Kaizo straight to the moon, just like GameStop. Never gonna stop. Let's go to the depths, the vacillating depths. Ah, I understand the concept of this level now. Oh, I need that. I don't. Wah, indeed. You only get 3 of those, though. No 4th ones. What if I need that shell again? Nope. That's a lot of wah. Reminds me of that GDQ where they kept going wah, and there was someone who was involved in the run. I want to say a commentator or someone on the couch. He's basically says to the audience, you know, if you want to cure cancer, the shuttle, there's a shuttle that comes out every half hour. Just stand in front of it. Yeah, he was hella banned for that. But you know what? Man of convictions. It was kind of annoying. Oh, whoops. It is awe. I'm in awe. I hope that ends soon. That is actually annoying. The beautiful thing is, if this does annoy me too much, I can always cancel it even TTS. That was one of the failures of my first TTS implementation, which I fixed. You go faster. You rated to an Aura stream. It's time for Silence Club. Also, if you look at the tags, there is Trinidad and Tomato. That is an actual bit of orator reference there. That is actually annoying. I might have to turn that off. There we go. That was actually annoying. But yeah, Trinidad and Tomato. I had a bug in my TTS code where it wasn't able to say Trinidad and Tobago. This is just gonna be an orator stream now, I guess. This is my life now. More like max length. But anyway, I fixed that, and that's why I have the particular Twitch tag now. Had to do with how I was handling emotes. That's really it. But that has been fixed. For a while now. But also the tagging system on Twitch is absolutely worthless, so who cares? I need to go one earlier. Tomato, potato, Trinidad and Tobago. But yeah, my first TTS implementation only worked when I was playing on the Squiggle Box. And it relied on Windows native TTS for Windows 98, which didn't give me any way to really cancel them. Like, once the active script started running, the VB script started running, I couldn't stop it. And so that was a problem. Also, it didn't work very well. Main reason it didn't work very well was because of how Windows audio subsystems work in 98. There's no, like, software mixer. Left to shave and shower, you came back to whatever this was. Yeah, it makes sense. Dan Gill still banned you? Why'd he ban you? Yeah, I'm curious. How did you get... I mean... You know what? I actually probably know why Fries got banned. Probably the same reason he got banned in, like, Barb's stream. He can be a bit... He can be a bit Fries. He can be overcooked. Dang it. Surprised they didn't complain about the accented letters. Huh. Maybe about cocaine didn't like. He's from Colombia, so it's a nosy subject. Thanks. That's... okay. I gets it. I see what you did there, Fries. Thank you for saying you were leaving shortly after entering. Takes all kinds. There we go. Dang it, I thought I could square that up. Unbanned you for doing it in a heat of irritation on good terms. Oh, nice. I'm finding good, interesting new ways to die. Boop, boop. Okay, up, holding. Dang it. Have I ever had to ban anyone? A couple times. Typically, I just mute them and then hope they go away, which has generally worked out okay, but I don't have... my ban list is pretty empty. If you don't want to see Rosa suffer, you can always pick a different character sprite, like Pokey. Pokey is never suffering for too long. He's just too happy to keep be kept down. Yeah, that was a way easy. Oh. Banlist is mostly bots. Yeah, the thing about bots is they only ever really come once. Like, basically, they come into a channel and just assume they'll get banned, so just muting them is usually enough to keep them away. I would say if I had anything in the ban list, it's probably some equivalent of Man of Steel's, one of Man of Steel's accounts. Again, like, I get why people don't like him. But, like, I don't really mind idiosyncratic trolls as long as they're mostly focused on me, the streamer, and not other people. But last time he was here, he was very much focused on someone else, and that was not acceptable. It's been years, though. Who's Man of Steel? He's a perennial troll in the Kaizo community. He comes in and says, I would love to, like, gargle the streamer's marbles, and other such innuendo, which is hardly innuendo. People have accused various people of being him at times. I've made jokes about it being Idol or Miyamoto. Nobody actually knows. But I don't think he's been around much in the last while, so... He's still around? Okay, I haven't seen him in a long-ass time, then. Maybe just he doesn't come this way because he doesn't get much of a rise out of me. There we go. Down. I'm gonna... Wait, what? It's kind of weird. MOS is high. Yeah, definitely COVID. It was COVID. Seen Lady of Iron. That's kind of funny. Always liked there was a... Oh, God. When was this? It was an article someone had written called Men of Steel, Ladies of Tissue or something. And it was basically trying to describe the fact that if Superman had relations with Lois Lane without some sort of Kryptonian protection, that his super sperm would probably just cause her to explode. And they had math to demonstrate this to that effect. The internet was a weird place back then. It still is now. But it was a weird then, too. I decide if I need to go faster or slower for that section that's up ahead. Do I need to wait there? So, Matt. The problem with levels that have periodic motion outside of something that the player can control is you kinda have to have a better idea of when you need to be moving. I don't. That's weird. Apparently you procced it, but it didn't actually go through the system because you had, like, empty text or something. Which is weird. Oh, never mind. There it goes. Using predictive text on your phone? Ah, okay. I assume this was from some sort of song or something. Man of Steel, Women of Kleenex. Thank you. It was actually written by Larry Niven and Dispatch in 1969. Dang. All right. Fair enough. How you doing, Simon? You know some things. I do not. I remember reading it on the internet and thinking it was a weird internet thing. But yes, that's one of those absolutely ridiculous things. At least I was close to the actual title. Women of Kleenex versus Women of Tissue. Right, there we go. Up here. Bit of a comics nerd. Fair enough. But yeah, it makes a very good argument. Unfortunately, against Superman ever enjoying that sort of thing. Without severe repercussions. There's... I don't know, I need to go faster. I think I got stuck in a loop. Okay. Trying to decide exactly where I need to be in the cycle for this. Dang it. Miku Speak be fun, I will not deny that. I just assume any text that doesn't make sense is someone quoting some sort of musical thing, so I definitely didn't even come to mind. Our house. In the middle of our house. Dang it. Still love that video. with two house in the yard. Dang it. I'm noticing a pattern. I will say right now, it's gotta be close to being done. The most difficult thing that would be to do if I needed to actually switch machines, like I've been thinking about rebuilding this one that's doing the streaming, would be getting Miku Speak working properly again, because it requires some weird setup I found on Japanese websites and I don't remember where I found them. That's really the long story short. Oh, I need one of those bricks. At least we know that. I think I'm slow by a little bit. That's the problem with this. Like, it's hard to know exactly what cycle I need to end up on. Ah. I don't know why I keep picking things that actually require this sort of question as opposed to levels that don't have that kind of nonsense going on. I feel I've done that for Romhack races where I keep picking levels that have something in them that requires knowing what to do and when, and without a good signal. Like general rules of Kaizo, if you don't know what to do, go faster. Also, maybe one day I'll get beyond ChatX Beta, SMW Gamma, and Chatbox 0.2, which was not actually a measured number. Like, I literally just picked that number because I thought it was funny. First time anyone ever saw that, I was showing it off to somebody local here, and I was actually capturing Chrono Cross footage at the time, I think. Just as a demonstration. It's been a while since I've worked on that. It's honestly been fine for a while. I'd argue the one thing I need to do is fix the chat box so that it has no problem changing height. Right now, it changes width just fine, but height it has problems with, because it is actually pixel specified. Because I don't know how to write CSS out of a paper bag. Like, quite literally. I spent a while trying to figure out how to deal with the fact that I wanted this part to resize to meet the size of this thing, and blah, 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 blah. Couldn't figure it out. Decided just to calculate manually and do it in JavaScript. Not fast enough. Like, I wonder if I'm supposed to, like, wait a cycle with that Koopa somehow? Closer. Either way, I've got some tech stuff I want to do on the East Coast, so I'll get some of it done. Though, honestly, I need to buckle down and just finish up YouTube stuff. I was, like, looking at the stuff that was still in there. I forgot I hadn't finished Trespasser. Like, Trespasser's just sitting there. The Dark Forces games also are just sitting there. Jump is close to being finished. Baba has a lot of it done, but it still needs a lot of work. lots of random things to finish. And start Pokemon. Yes, exactly. So actually, question for Switch 2 owners. Is there something you need to do, like transfer stuff off of the Switch 1, or does the internet like take care of all of that? Because that will affect my Switch 2 timing, I think. Nuts. You transfer them manually yourself? There's not like a thing that does it? You run it on one and they're both on the same network and magic happens? Or... Because, like, phones sometimes work that way. At least iPhones. That's you mean by... Okay, so I do need to have the Switch 2 or Switch 1 in my possession when I get a Switch 2. Okay. So that's a thing I'll need to do. Not a big deal, just like I said, it affects how I want to handle doing certain things. But it's good to know. No, you don't? Stay on server for a bit? How long is a bit? Anyway, I probably want to go to the east side anyway at some point. GameStop claims they have some on the east side. It'd be kind of fun to go to the Crossroads GameStop again, because I haven't been there in ages. But it's where I went as a kid, back when it wasn't a GameStop, but was Funko Land. A much, much better store. That would print up the cost of new and used games every week in a periodical. Basically, newspaper. So you could look at it and decide, well, maybe this is the week for me to sell Parasite Eve, or what have you. System transfer data can be stored on Nintendo servers up to 1 year before it expires. During this time, you complete the transfer on Nintendo Switch console or cancel it. You can also check the status of your system transfer, potentially cancel it via your Nintendo account settings on Nintendo's website. Ah, okay. Yeah, that... Alright, that does change things. But I still want to go to the east side. Basically, it'd be an excuse to visit Mediterranean Kitchen. Because I love going to Mediterranean Kitchen. I have so few excuses to go to Mediterranean Kitchen. Up to you, yeah. Gonna mostly come down to how much weight I want to take with me when I'm going to the other side of the country. Nice thing, I've got pre-check now, so at least I don't take out the Switch and deal with them looking at it individually in yet another bin. No. That is a guaranteed thing. It's not an if, it's a when. Like, before I start Pokemon, it will be a thing that happens. The question I'm really asking myself is, do I want to try to acquire it in another state where the sales tax is lower? Such as, I don't know, Minnesota. Or Virginia. 2, 3, 4. Nuts! I saw what I needed to do, and I didn't do it very well. I think I do need to try to keep P-Speed there. How much difference will the tax make? Not terribly much. Tax in Washington is generally about 10%. Virginia and other places is somewhere between 5 and 6. Like I said, weight also, because you have to carry this stuff with you on the plane. Need to figure out also what I'll take with me to GDQ. I'm taking a bottle of Inferno. That's a thing that's happening. I am not taking it home. Someone is receiving a bottle of Inferno when I leave. Oh, sorry, the Inferno. Yep, it's a whiskey. It's cask strength. I want to say it's somewhere in the area of 60% alcohol. It's from Westland. It was an April Fool's Day joke. It's been aged for 3-odd years in ex-Tabasco casks. As in Tabasco, the hot sauce. Basically, it tastes an awful lot of burning. and more burning and salt. So much salt. But it is fascinating. It is an interesting whiskey. Not one I'd ever recommend people drink for enjoyment. But getting closer. Yeah, I was doing a little bit of cleaning in the other room and found that I still had 4 whole bottles. Whichever one I take, I'm going to take... Well, actually, no, I'm not going to open the wax seal. I'm going to leave the wax seal in place in the hopes that it will prevent things from spilling into my luggage. Because basically, in the event that that bottle breaks, I'm just going to buy new clothes. It'd probably be fine after washing, but, like, since I'm going to a hotel, it'd be a lot more challenging to deal with that particular problem. Also, I don't know if I'd want to risk it for anything that's going to be that close to anything else. It's a bold and daring spirit that demands attention. Yes, yes it does. Funny thing is, I've had it on a few different occasions. And the very first occasion I had was actually in the Westland blending room. A few friends of mine had gone. I might have been with that guy from the importer. But basically, we went on a tour, and we were allowed into the blending room, which is an interesting place full of interesting stuff. And like, here, you guys got to try this. And of course, we do. It's the Inferno. But the funny thing is, despite all of the burning and salt, there was a beautiful butterscotch note that I found that day. And I've never again found it while tasting that. It's just salt and burning. But as with a lot of other things in life, what you've done right beforehand can make a huge difference. Close. Yeah, I miss their April Fool's Day releases. They don't do them anymore. I'm kind of hoping they'll bring them back next year. The first one they did was they got a bunch of agave syrup and brewed what they call, or distilled what they called a tequila, because you can't legally call it a tequila because it's not made in Tequila, Mexico. Which was funny. Unfortunately, the pun may be lost on people here because they've never been to Tequila in Washington, which is a real place. I think Boeing is there. There's also a casino. Second year was Inferno. Third year was either the Bold... I think it was the Bold Smooth. Bold Smooth was a very silly whiskey. It's fine. It's 40% alcohol by volume. It's literally not the definition of nothing to write home about. They filtered it, and quite literally as people were lining up, because April Fool's Day, we were all lining up for this, Master Distiller Matt Hoffman came out in a tux and came out and said, "You guys know this is a joke, right? This whiskey's not very good. I just want you all to know that." And we're like, "Yeah, of course." And the video advertising it is absolutely hilarious because it's been quadruple everything. They did nested aging where they put a barrel of whiskey inside another barrel of whiskey. And they did an accelerated aging by putting it in a pickup truck and doing donuts in a parking lot. And then they quadruple filtered it over things such as champagne glasses and narwhal horns and other nonsense. How am I going slower? Orphan barrel whiskeys. I don't think I've come across that term. What exactly does that mean? I have a decent number of single casks. Numbered ones, especially from, like, Westland and the like. You got a whistle pig. I have 2 whistle pigs. I forgot about the other one. Okay. Bold Smooth is also quadruple reserved, which they never explained what that means. But I got my bottle sitting over there on the bar counter between the living room and the kitchen, and it has an knuckle sticker effects to it, because of course it does. I will also bring a non-trivial number of knuckle stickers with me, even if I don't get my own stickers printed out. Because who wouldn't want a Butter Monster sticker, let's be honest. Okay. Dang it. But in general, I find like single casts to be really interesting. I've had the opportunity a few times in Scotland to literally like be like, I want to try that one. And they were like, why not? I was in the Cadenhead warehouse in Springbank. No, yeah, Springbank is the whiskey distiller there. In Campbelltown, that's it. It took me a moment. But quite literally, we're using a cask as a table, and I'm like, can we try the table cask? And Dad's like, sure, why not? Dang it. The timing on that is absurdly difficult for me. Not to mention the fire level is going to be yet another section after this. Just need to preserve enough time to avoid the purple drank. Restaurant you worked at recently got Blanton's straight from the barrel, and it's awesome. Oh, I'm enjoying Blanton's when I've had it. Wait, what? Oh, it's being annoying. Straight from a single barrel. Huh. Yeah, that sounds... 125 proof. Jesus. That is high proof. Not gonna say I shy away from things above 60, but Jesus. Westland, in fact, is actually better at higher proof. It tastes weird when they get below 50%, which they do occasionally. Makes me deeply unhappy that they took all that good whiskey and watered it down, or all that great whiskey and merely watered it down to make merely good whiskey. Which is something Fistbit was actually told he had done on one occasion, which I think was still pretty funny. Okay, if I don't get the jump here, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Probably should hit the bottom one on the way in. That's what I'm doing wrong. Much hotter than normal Blantons. A lot like Booker's. I believe it. Go. What am I doing? There's a place downtown I need to go, because they allegedly have a Westland cask of interest. I think it's a rum finish. Turns out it's like down the street from every pinball place, so it's actually a pretty easy to fit that into a schedule at some point. I think I went too slow. Yep. Also wonder if I could let go of Y earlier, or yeah, let go of Y earlier for the throw and get P speed sooner. That was slow. Yeah, that actually helps. Had a bunch of Westlands that don't sell great. That's unfortunate. Were those the standard, as they call them, standard expressions? Or the fancier stuff? Because they release a bunch of weird stuff. Some of it's good, some of it is not my favorite. Like, I'm never terribly unhappy to have a Westland, but... yeah, that's actually making a huge difference. Dang it, that didn't make a huge difference. Had the American Single Malt. Yeah, the default one's pretty good. It's not the world's best thing. I've enjoyed it. They've also changed how they do stuff. Like, their default expression used to be a lot better. Then they decided they didn't want to do 3. Like, their peated was really good, the sherry was okay, and the original was good. And then they're like, no, we need to include everything, so it's only one SKU. And I think that's just part of being bought out by... I think they were bought out by Remy a while ago. Had the peated. The peated is pretty good. But yeah, they definitely shine when they're at a higher proof. And the default stuff, I think, was around like 40-ish. get a chance to try some of their single casks or the weirder releases where they're doing like barrel exchanges, definitely give it a shot. Oh, in Colorado. Okay, I missed that line. Yeah, I'm gonna go to a tasting. I'm probably gonna go to a tasting for Colorado Distillery sometime next week that I'd never heard about before then. I don't know exactly what their name is. Starts with an S, like Seal Box or something. I'm pretty sure that's a variety of club soda. No, Seagram's is the club soda. I made it! Stratton's? Maybe. Was watching. Really shouldn't take your eyes away when you hit a midway in a Kaizo level. Yeah, Stratton's. Thank you. That was it. Thank you for the H's. Now the purple drink isn't going anywhere, but I am. Well, shoot. Yeah, know nothing about him. Gonna give him a shot. Also, I tried... Where did we stop? God, it was years ago now, think about it. Went to a distillery that was in Park City, Utah? Almost went to a distillery to try and do a distillery tour when I was in Japan, but unfortunately, tour was only on Sundays, and I had already had that Sunday pretty well booked. In Japan, things only seem to happen on Sundays. At least some things only seem to happen on Sundays. I'm trying to see if I like this part of the level better or worse. Like, it's weird jumping up when the platforms are moving down. But yeah, simply put, there's an awful lot of better whiskey than there used to be on the market, though the costs have gone up substantially for some of them. Like, Japanese whiskey is now exorbitantly priced for what you get here in the United States. Not terribly priced in Japan, but Japan's been having a really nice exchange rate for a while now. The fact that it's still at 140 is really nice. Or around 140. It was 150 when I went in April for like all of a day, and then, well, stuff happened. Would have been nice to have it be at 150 for more than one day, but oh well. Still 140, can't complain. I'm dead. Getting kind of hungry, to be honest. Thought I had enough to eat. I had cheeseburger and there was stuff at the tasting, but still. One, two, three, swim! Needed to proc them. Used to sell Pappy 23 at 95 a pour. Yeah. That is a little bit ridiculous. Place near me that sells that kind of thing has a $20% service charge on all things. And so, like, you get a $100 whiskey, you're paying $20 service charge. It's a little bit much. Like, I like to tip people, but $20 for pouring a single glass is not something I'm interested in doing. Dang it. Anyway. That's the dumbest way I've died so far. At least I can die quickly. There's value in that. Anyway. Where'd they go? What else is new? Yeah, I need to find a new book. Dang it. Been listening to Sword Art Online, and honestly, it's not very good. I think Dude really hit on good concept at the right time. But it's not the world's most amazing writing. Debating whether or not I want to re-listen to something or find something I know by, or find something new by an author I already like. Dang it. I thought I was going to jump the first time, not the second time. Any new and creative ways to die? Oh yeah, I wrote more Lua today. I hate Lua more now. Because I've been trying to write what is effectively a USB interface emulator for Messen, so I can use a socket instead. I've had to write more Lua. And one of the things that's weird, Lua only has one data structure. It's all tables. The tables can, you know, have all sorts of keys and stuff. And there's a length operator. But the length operator doesn't work. Or at least it doesn't work in the environment of Messen. Because rather than returning me 0, it returns nil. Which is not helpful. Nuts. Also, in general, just sometimes when I'm trying to do stuff, the emulator is eating errors for some reason. And I have to sort of printf debug my way out of the paper bag. But yeah, just, it's not good. I don't understand why people are like, yay, Lua, so easy to embed, but like, it may be easy to embed, but it's just bad. The expressiveness isn't there, the environment is weird. Like, most languages at some point have thought, you know, someone may want to print a dictionary. Why don't we give dictionary a toString that does something reasonable, as opposed to nothing. Literally nothing. So you go online and people are like, how do I do this? And there's a bunch of people who've written custom solutions or said just like, oh yeah, you just need to use the JSON parser because that's the best way to do this. And I'm like, I get not having batteries included. But it's your one data structure. You know? Like, when it's your one data structure, it should have more batteries included. There we go. How in the world? I kept thinking I'm actually getting somewhere. And then I discover I don't think I am. Anyway, I'm almost done with the amount of Lua developing I need to do for the time being, though I have been considering writing a SD to SNES USB emulator interface, but that would take a little more doing and be more annoying, because the way that that works is most of the packets are fixed size at 512 bytes, which means I have to read more stuff off the socket, which I'm already doing inside of, like, Messen's main emulator loop. Just not good. Like, I really would like it to pull my code out of there, but I don't have a better event to hook it to when it's something that needs to periodically happen. Or maybe there's some sort of event-driven mechanism for doing this properly in some form of Lua in the right library, but I don't know what it is. Best then, outside of that, it seems like the Lua environment actually seems pleasant in terms of the stuff Sour provides. It's just Lua itself seems like hot garbage. No! I didn't waken the other guy. But at least it actually has been working. Like, it's doing the thing I expect. Only issue is I really do need to disable rendering while I'm doing a bunch of stuff. I'm not doing it yet. Fistbit was trying to convince me to not disable rendering and instead to do the copy over multiple frames, to which I said, let me get this working first, then we'll talk. There's already enough unpredictability in this, and one of the biggest problems is I can't guarantee certain things will work with the actual EverDrive. So I've been running into a problem where it will occasionally drop packets, and so I'm trying to write a protocol for an unreliable transport, which not exactly a new task. Oh, wait, what? Oh. But it's not one I relish, because I love how easy doing anything on the SD to SNES is. Like, the interface is consistent. It works rather well. It doesn't break randomly. USB to NES? Heaven help me. Jumped over it. And I want to know if it's a mapper issue or something else. That reminds me, I need to actually specify the test thing I wanted Fistbit to actually write for me. Basically, I want a very simplified test thing I can just run. And he told me he would do it if I gave him more specification. Oh, what? How does it even work? Alright, well, at least I've seen the pipe. When you see the pipe, morale goes up. Layer 2 is slippery. But yeah, having a proper emulated interface would actually make a humongous difference for some projects I've been wanting to do. Just so I'd be able to do them in other places rather than be hooked up directly to the SNES or NES. Not to mention debugging. Debugging's a lot easier when you don't have to use small signs that you've done the right thing. An awful lot of my initial SNES hacking basically would use Mario's power-up state or Is Luigi state to let me know whether or not something worked. Which wasn't great. It's good enough. But being able to get into the debugger and look at what's going wrong is definitely more useful. Just because debuggers are very convenient when you're dealing with low-level code. Like, anyone who says printf debugging is superior doesn't write embedded code. And don't get me... well, not entirely true. There's a fella by the name of Landon or something? Doesn't matter. He wrote the port of Donkey Kong to the Atari 2600, as well as worked at Palm and other places doing embedded software stuff in the 90s. And, I might just be behind. I'm not. But he had a story on his blog a million years ago about how he was debugging something in Palm OS by holding a radio up to the device and changing his loop so that it'd sound different depending upon where he was in the code to figure out exactly where he was having problems. Which, this isn't really printf debugging, but it's binary search debugging, which is definitely a failure mode. Which I did spend a decent amount of time doing the other day because I didn't have any other choices. Like, if it's not going to show me stack traces when something goes wrong in Lua, the only thing you can do is add print statements until you can narrow down where things are going awry. And it works well enough. But like I said, it's not ideal. Boop, boop, boop. But at least I didn't have to hold the radio up to my NES, I guess. So I got that going for me. I think I need to jump there. I need to be in the air a little bit longer. Boop. Dang it. Surely it's getting... pretty much. Sometimes I'll just give them numbers. Like, if I need to print other structures, it's definitely a copy and paste job, and occasionally I'll get my numbers wrong. I'll have to go back and look at it again. Be like, why? Also, it's a shame that dude's website or blog's down. He had a lot of great stories. The Donkey Kong one is probably his most famous, but he also had one about cooperating with the FBI to help take down small-time theft ring. They brought him along because, what was it, the CEO of Atari, it had a stalker or something, and he owed the FBI a favor for dealing with it. And so the FBI needed someone who understood Atari computers, and he's like, this guy does. And so they sent him along. Apparently, one of the guys who got arrested was still pretty happy about it. He's like, you know that guy in there who's looking at your computer and finding evidence for us? He worked at Atari. Really? Wow! Which is still funny to me. But of course, had there been any rudimentary encryption or, like, simply some sort of dead man switch, all that data on there would have been gone. I also learned about pen registers. I didn't know about this, though I don't think it's a relevant idea anymore. Back when we still had phone lines that were not cell phones, there was this thing up at the street where whenever you made a phone call, it would log who was called. Just the number, nothing else. But law enforcement would frequently subpoena those to find important things for law enforcement-y things. Just an interesting technological detail. Okay. I have this. How? It doesn't move how I expect it to. Like, the level... Because the level's moving... Might be a case where I should spend some time messing with those shells instead of just banging my head at the wall. Another good one he had, apparently, in one of his ports, he was told to put in an Easter egg because some marketing dude just thought it'd be cool. And he was like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. And he put one in there, and I think all it does... What did it do? Something stupid. Normal shell jump, holding jump. It's very possible I'm holding jump. I usually let go of jump a little bit to do my shell jump, so it's possible that's my problem. But I don't do a lot of layer 2 shell jumps. Which, of course, is the point of why FYRE did this. It's to mess with people, make them have to think about it. FYRE's a thinking fella. Anyway, somebody eventually found the 2 Easter eggs. He put one in Donkey Kong and one in a different game. Super Pac-Man, I think. Someone found them after 26 years, and they, one, were complicated to find because the requirements were not obvious, and 2, weren't terribly interesting when you found them. Dang it. One of them said, like, for a good time, JSR, this particular thing, and there was no code there. Apparently at some point that had been repurposed for some other thing he was doing. Well, it's not surprising. One, you didn't have a lot of space. Atari games were pretty dang small back then. All that hard work for nothing? I think the guy who found it got like a $30 or like a $75 bounty. Because one of those like retro gaming sites had issued a bounty once they heard about it. So there's that. Dang it. But in both cases, I think most it display. I think the second one it just displays his initials, which was a big deal back then, because you didn't really get attribution for your contributing to code. They usually just wanted to keep it copyright Atari, what have you. Now that I mention it, you did say the A. It wasn't, unfortunately. It just wasn't. I mean, when we're talking about Atari Easter eggs, possibly the only ones that are really interesting are the one in the original adventure, where if you do everything right and acquire a basically invisible pixel, it causes the initials of the programmer to appear. Also, I didn't know about this about Adventure, but like it was inspired by Colossal Cave Adventure, which in retrospect should have been obvious. But it wasn't. And also someone took that engine and made it into a Superman game where your goal is to rebuild a bridge. Anyway. How does one make an Easter egg not interesting? It's supposed to be fun? Like I said, just didn't have enough space, didn't have time. Like an awful lot of old Easter eggs were more fun. Like, what was that one? There was one for IE5, I want to say, where you would do a kind of a Star Wars style crawler if you did the right stuff. The code's still there for 6, but in 6, but they got rid of the encryption key that made it a hidden thing. There's the flight simulator that was in some version of Excel. I forget which. There's an awful lot of weird Easter eggs that were kind of good, but in modern days, you don't really make Easter eggs unless they're properly vetted by PMs and blah, 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 blah. Basically, I'd say the way you make an Easter egg not fun is by having someone else make you have to do it when you don't really want to. Like at Microsoft, the proper way to do an Easter egg was to make it a feature. And even then, you'd probably get rejected because you're not supposed to do that kind of thing anymore. It's a bummer, but it kind of makes sense the more you think about it. The nature of software has changed massively in the last 20 years. More than 20 years, 30 years, I guess. Whereas like in 95, you didn't really care too much about it. People who were relying on things, well, you know, they were relying on it. Nowadays, all manner of governments and other institutions use these things. That was closer. And they don't want to be surprised by an Easter egg. You don't want your Easter egg to be the source of a security vulnerability. My understanding is that Microsoft basically stopped allowing Easter eggs that summer that XP got hit with an awful lot of different worms, like Slammer and not Stuxnet. I forget the exact timing for it, but basically that's when they're like, no more fun allowed. You guys had your fun, it caused this problem. Not that those were related concepts, but that's just how it ended up boiling out. It's also when they introduced the irritating thing that is Windows Update. There used to be a way to update Windows, but it also used to happen on your terms in Windows 98 and in 2000. And in XP, they introduced the countdown timer you have to keep telling, no, I'm busy working. And it's only gotten worse from there, with things like Windows 10 just randomly shutting down your computer because it feels like it. Oh, you've got busy. You're trying to DM a D&D session? Nah, we need to issue updates right now. This literally happened to me. Well, it happened to my friend who was DMing the session I was in, but still. Okay, not quite. And it wasn't like it was late at night. It was like 6 p.m. It's one of the reasons why, in general, I try to disable that with group policy, because I just don't want to be updated at a random time. This machine is not actively connected to the internet. It doesn't spend a lot of time looking at random websites. It has ad blockers up the wazoo. Like, I'm not in that particular genre of person who constantly needs that. Arguably, I'd turn off a bunch of the various mitigations if I could, for speed reasons, but... There we go. It's annoying. That water part is the part that I think is the worst. I think I kind of have everything else down except for the shell jump. The water part does not work. My hands are starting to get hurt. I'm starting to hurt. I probably should have done this after doing Myth or Mana yesterday. Should have come up with a better idea of what to stream, but here we are. That took way too long. Like, I'm definitely getting more attempts. Just... No! When the water's ascending, it's hard to jump out of it. I think that's really the key to the whole thing. Like, I'm not... I think I'm going fast enough. Like, the limit... This right here has an upper limit. As does this. Ah, I meant to let go of A. Another good dad hacker story. You got to work on a lot of cool stuff. You also shared my penchant that hardware people literally do not understand software in the slightest. Just frequently. There are people who do. They're just not common. And they write bad software because of it. You think giving me more attempts to getting there would actually help me with the water thing? You didn't cook the water sausage. How come you didn't score the water sausage? That's what the people want. The water sausage. Oh. Excuse me. Boop. Also, another series of hacks you keep seeing is the ninja speedruns, like from Mario Maker. Discord exclusive. Yeah, I've seen those around. Don't know where you actually get them either. It would not surprise me if it's Discord exclusive. I want to say it's a German thing. Like it was started by some German speedrunner, but I honestly don't know. But I know what you're talking about. Because I've seen various people playing them. If Fries was still paying attention, he'd be a good guy to ask, because he might actually know the answer. Wouldn't surprise me if some of them are on Xandro's site. But definitely not, you know, anything recent. That was not good. Then an idea, he started it? Okay. That does explain it. So are those Discord exclusive, or is it like a website or something? Feels like the kind of thing that should have a website. Like, leaderboards are better off in HTML than Discord messages. Also, as a general rule, people should use websites for things, as opposed to hiding things in Discord. Said man sick of trying to find things in Discord periodically. I'm regressing again. It happens sometimes. Discord, but they show the times on a website so everyone can see them. Okay, that's nice. Be nice if the files themselves were on a website, because that's an easier way to distribute files that last longer. I was looking at a Fortaleza Reznor competition, and at the end of the judging thing, it says, oh yeah, and if you want to get the files, here's a link, or go to Discord. There'll be a more recent one. That threw me off. Sup, Olga? Ow, my nose. Why'd I jump over him? Okay. Take your time, Pokey. Take your time. Pokey knows what to do. He's just happy to be here. Need to remember to let go of A. Like, I'm pretty sure I can do that without a regrab, even if I need to. But yeah, there'll be a whole bunch of, in the future, people will be like, where did you find this hack? And the answer's going to be, oh yeah, this Discord that's now dead. Here's a link that no longer works. Have fun. Especially because, like, Discord went and did the Great File Purge, where they made every link not work anymore, and added a special, like, validity bit of stuff to every single link to make sure people wouldn't use Discord as a way to share files ever again. That's a new one. I haven't run into the fish in a while. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, you do need the regrab. I mean, honestly, how I get up there is so chaotic, I cannot do the normal, like, Kaizo strategy of trying to muscle memory my way through it, a la everything else. Oh, we got a shot here. Never looked at how well I did on the Fedora one. Oh. No! How would you do that and not kick it? Oh, well. I'm trying to remember what Fedora Friday changed his name to. It's gonna bug me. Oh, that's where I could have pulled that list from that list. Fedora's done, or the person formerly known as Fedora's done chat hacks. I know it has the word Friday in it, I just can't remember what the other part is. Pokey doesn't have feet. Valid point. Where is it? Listing. Okay, no. Oh, because Fedora Friday has not changed the name. Nuts. I still don't. Well, wait, no, that actually works. I have the ID now. I can find this easily. Neither is Faro, or the Jamie. Let's see, if I change command to that. Oh no, Fedora Friday got an entirely new Twitch account. That's what happened. So no, that doesn't apply. Okay, well, nuts. It's gonna bug me the entire time, and I'm gonna, like, remember it as I'm trying to go to bed tonight. I'm like, that was the name! To be fair, Pokey also doesn't have hands, so the whole holding things doesn't work so hot for him. Anyway. Trying to figure out what I'm actually supposed to do this weekend. What? That was a bad input. So I think I'm supposed to do something with Squiggles on Saturday, but I think I may need to punt it because I have to go to someone's birthday party. Which is bad, because there's just not that much time left in the months. And every year, one of my resolutions is start my 4-job fiesta sooner and finish it long before it becomes a problem. And every year, I fail it hard. To be fair, though, my interest in doing multiple runs in a given year has dropped precipitously from prior years. Easy fix, kill them. Squiggles, the person whose birthday it is, or The guy who runs the 4-job Fiesta. Because he does Discord spam a fair bit. He does like to issue alerts when there's nothing important for alerting to let us know that his book is on sale. Did you know his book is on sale? Because his book is on sale. I have no desire to read his book. I don't know what his book is about, but I don't think I'm going to buy it. Who knows? Maybe it's good. Maybe you should buy the book. You trying to burn the book? Okay, got a shot. AB. Nope. Which book? I don't know. So here's the thing. I actually practice like inbox 0 for Discord and for email. So I have no unread messages because I read them. Unless they're important and I need to deal with them and I don't feel like dealing with them now, in which case I unread them. But yeah, I don't actually know. It's Revenant Enkidu's book. I forget his actual other title. He uses his real name in some places and uses his silly Final Fantasy V name in others. Yes, I was like, you live like this. There we go. Pokey found his feet. Please? There we go, 27. I feel good about that. Alright, let's see how long that took. Took about an hour and 10 minutes. Let's see how long it took everyone else. GG, I like that. Well, I didn't do the worst. Wait, is there anything up here? Nope, it's just chill. And wiggly. Immense to wiggly. Yeah, nope. Basically, I finished ahead of its X. Is X. So, thanks for the GGs. Most recent time you changed jobs, or like, I'm going to maintain 0 on emails. You got 20 emails every single day and immediately give out that. Filters. Massive number of filters. At work, I filtered out all the things I didn't care about. Even now, I have a ton of filters and different labels and stuff. Like, just seriously, you can turn a Gmail search into a filter. It solves the problem massively. Pokey just looks good there, just part of the HUD. Maybe if I ever make a hack, I'll put Pokey there just for the hell of it. Just chill. Anyway, fun level. I wasn't good at it, but it was fun.